me and Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I was thinking today, what's a good investment for the future? Like what should you be investing in right now in these uncertain times that would be the best payoff in the future? And I thought about housing, I thought about stocks, I thought about Bitcoin, I thought about all these things, and then I was like, nah, the best investment to make right now is, if you're young, have kids. Have lots and lots of kids, minimum 5. I'd be trying to hit 5. That's what you got to be doing. You got to be populating your own crew. I'm not even joking here. You want to have a posse. Look, you're going to be poor anyway. Don't use poor as an excuse. That's what people have been saying for the last 30 years and no one's had kids. Do you think the people in sub-Saharan Africa are giving a fuck about being poor? No. They're just eating scraps, doing whatever they need to do. Have you seen a poor kid run around their fucking slum? They're the happiest things in the world. Kids don't give a fuck if they're poor or not. Well, they probably do. I don't know, but it probably depends how poor, but you know. If they're really, really poor, then they'll get really good at something. If they're that worried about it, they'll get really good at something and try and get unpoor. The rest will just be like, yeah, I'm poor, that's sweet, I'm happy, it's cool. At least we got a crew. That was one of the selling points, like kids are so expensive, and they are relatively expensive, but all you're doing is really redirecting the funds you would be using to get fucked up or buy a bag of cocaine or go on some fucking holiday to get fucked up and buy some bags of cocaine. All you're doing is redirecting that money into a child. So yeah, if you're like, oh, I want to spend all my money on frivolous things and go on holidays, then yeah, a kid probably isn't going to fit into that. It's still manageable, but it's probably not going to fit into that very well. But then you need to be thinking about the future. It's going to be going back to families living in one house together for generations. This kick your kids out of the house when they're 18, that was a blip on the fucking civilizational radar. That's only happened once, really, in history, and it was from like 1960 to about when I was 18. The generation now, they don't get kicked out because there's nowhere to kick them. Every other culture, every other generation, they just stayed with their parents until they were adults or they'd found someone or they managed to move out. Like, it wasn't an issue. So I think we'll be going back to that, where families live in the same house together for generations. Just economically, that's the better decision. Like, and when you go from like 2 kids to 5 kids, really the only thing you're giving up there is any last remaining bit of spare time. And really, are you getting that much spare time with fucking 2 kids anyway? So you might as well chuck another 3 in there. And when you're cooking dinners, it's like fucking, yeah, just double it up. Double it up and halve portions. So you don't get like fat kids and it's not going to cost that much more. Then you've got to look, like any investment, you've got to look at return of investment. So let's say you have 5 kids. You can pretty much automatically scrap 3. 3 are just they're not going to work. I don't mean like go out there and work, although I do mean that. I just mean they're going to be useless cunts. But if you raise them right, even though they're useless, they'll still care for you as you get older. But you got to raise them right, and you got to be around, and you got to fucking like impart wisdom, and you got to be there. And that leaves you with 2. And if we're talking minimum 5, you might get a high achiever there. I think you would get at least 1 high achiever out of 5. That's usually the statistics I think the Irish and the old Catholics were used and the Indians used as well. Well, my wife's dad, there was 9 and there was only one high achiever. So it depends on race. Look up the statistics, find out how many high achievers you would get per child had. So work out the numbers, work it out for your demographic and have that many children because you need one, but even that's a risk. You would at least get a medium level achiever out of 5. At least one would have a corner store or something like that. Someone would have the equivalent of a 7-Eleven, even though they're not going to be around by the time you're old. But you do need people to care for you as you get older. This is what scares me, is what all these people that decided not to have kids are going to do as they get older. Like, are they going to all move to a commune together? I'm not against that. I'll probably come and visit. But that's how the world has always worked. You have kids, you look after the kids, and then when you're going out the window, the kids come and look after you. That's the investment. There's no point having Amazon stock, like $100 million worth of Amazon stock, and then hiring some Mexican lady or Filipino lady to look after you in your dying years. Like, I suppose you can do that and get like lots of dogs and cats or something. It seems morbid though. That seems scary. If you do that, you've got to bank on like a niece or a nephew or something. Fuck that. You can't rely on those cunts. I don't know. But that's what I'd be doing if I was younger. If I had my time again, I would have had another 3 kids. I would have had 5. It wasn't 6 months or like 8 months after my second one that I was like, oh, I should just keep going. We should just keep going and fucking have like 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do it. But fucking time sort of ran out. And also my wife didn't want to at all. Also, there's another investment. If your wife doesn't want to, convert to Islam, get another wife, up the numbers. That could be the play. That could be the future play. Islam, multiple wives, 15, 20 kids. You're going to find one, aren't you? Surely you've got a high achiever in 15, 20. I don't know. You'd have to look into the ethnicity statistics there. Anyway, that's what I would do. Don't worry about investments. Well, you'll need some investments to support the kids up until a certain age, but that's what I would do. That's what I would do. I would have lots of kids and then just kick back and enjoy the times. Anyway, fucking that'll do for tonight. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and I'll see you the fuck later.